Hey, I'm Liv, and I really like those completely forgotten games that no one talks about. Since Steam is holding the Halloween sale right now, it's the perfect opportunity to talk about 8 horror games that are just not talked about. Some of them are underrated, some of them were popular at some point, but now it's forgotten. Some of them are kind of in the middle. So if you don't have the habit of scouring Steam in search for new games to play, you'll probably find something you like here. So without further ado, let's begin the list. Horns of Fear is a third-person psychological horror game set in a mysterious mansion. I'm starting off with a seriously overlooked game. A journalist, aka the most cursed profession in the universe, goes to investigate a mysterious mansion. Honestly, I don't remember the story, but it's not important. It's the visuals that shine. Personally, I'm a sucker for mixing different types of media, and this game, some sections of it are in stop motion. It just looks very unique and I really like the way it looks. The jump scares made me go half like, oh my god, the jump scare, ah! And the other part of me was like, oh my god, that's so cool and crazy, these visuals are amazing, I love this so much. It's a charming little project. It's around 2.5 hours. It's kind of what I took to complete it. And there's not a whole lot of replayability, if I'm being honest. But it's only
$3.49.
So I'm not mad about it. I mean, I'm mad because I wanted more, but you know. Fun fact, I played this with a friend and her parents were talking to us while we were playing. And her dad was like, aren't you scared of that? And I was like, no, nowadays I don't really get terrified of anything. And then 10 seconds later, there was a jump scare and I screamed. And they all started laughing at me. So yeah, buy it. Goetia is a point-and-click adventure where you play the ghost of a young lady. You are Abigail Blackwood. This game is so pretty and atmospheric. Abigail's ghost wakes up from her slumber for some reason and finds her old house empty. She's trying to find out what happened to her family, and I enjoyed my time in this little corner of England. The story is the driving force here and it's really good. But I guess the atmosphere is what I like the most. You can feel the abandonment and silence in the house and village and everywhere you go. I finished it in around 6 hours. There's not a ton of replay value, but I don't really care in this case. And it's only
$3.44.
By the way, Goetia, I had to look it up because I don't know what that means. It means a practice of invocation or something like that, of angels and demons, and that has to do with the story, so if you like that kind of supernatural element, I highly recommend this game. Congratulations! You're hired as a new waterer in Black Kiwa. Water the plants and we'll pay you 30 gold per hour. You'll never find any other job this generous. No, we're not hiding anything from you. If you just follow the work protocols and stay out of trouble, everything will be fine. For all my RPG Maker girlies out there, this one's for you. I really like the style of this game. You have to give props when someone makes their own assets. At least I, in my life, have played more RPG horror than anyone should, and I've never seen these assets before, so I'm relatively sure they made them. The art style is also really cool. It's in that border between cute and uncanny, and sometimes it crosses from one to the other. It's a breath of fresh air, considering that pretty much any game has kind of the anime aesthetic, to see something a little different. The story is also pretty intriguing. I suppose it's not groundbreakingly original, but who cares, it was told in a unique way, and I really liked it. Plus, it's one of those collect deaths games. It doesn't have such an emphasis on the deaths, but it is one of the... I forgot the word. Assets? It is one of the things of the game. It took me around 4 hours to complete, but it does have replay value because of deaths you might have missed and multiple endings. And it's a cool game, period. What else can I say? And it's only
$3.99.
So buy it. True Fear Forsaken Souls takes the best of the psychological thriller, blending in fun and intuitive gameplay mechanics. Episode 1, the first in a trilogy, will long be remembered. Now, you might be looking at the gameplay and thinking, this live is completely crazy. This looks like one of those mobile games that pretend to be mysterious but are just Candy Crush clones. Plus that, interesting synopsis that says the game will long be remembered. But yes. It is a bunch of cliches bundled together in a game. It does look like a mobile game, but I found it so relaxing to just click away at the pieces puzzles in the game. Kind of the only thing that's real about that description is intuitive gameplay, because the puzzles are really just like click. You really don't have to think, it's really relaxing. And I know that people don't play horror games to be relaxed, but I'm not gonna lie, that's how I felt, and it's spooky. It's like a cute little haunted house. It took me 4 hours to complete, and it does have replayability because of achievements, and because it's so satisfying to just click, and it's only
$3.14.
A free horror visual novel about an ill-fated journey across Sinlos, a lake where gruesome monsters lurk just beneath the surface. With times being so dire, you need to decide what and who is going to be sacrificed. Anyone can be saved, but not everyone can. As I've just read out, it's free! Even if choices matter, visual novels aren't really your thing, there's no excuse to not give it a shot. The art is beautiful, the game is even voiced.
I haven't. I've had no reason to go near this cursed lake until now. What have you?
Which is insane considering it's free. The quality is of a paid game, and it still puzzles me why it is free. It took me almost 12 hours to complete, and you can bet that some of that time was spent just achievement hunting, so I wasn't really reading the dialogue options anymore. So if you really like to read the different branches and paths that the story can take, you're gonna spend a good while with this game. A pleasantly awaited trip back home for the holidays becomes a nightmare for Catherine, as a tragic accident leaves her unconscious. After coming to her senses, she realizes that something is dreadfully wrong, and that she must escape the doll factory she awoke in before it's too late. Again, to my RPG Maker girlies, with this game, not all assets are original. For example, this statue is where you save, and I remember seeing that same statue in another game, and I was super confused when that wasn't the save station. I also don't think that it's straight from RPG Maker, it's a mix, and I really like the result. This might be the only RPG horror I've ever played that isn't just spooky or has effective jump scares. It is really scary sometimes, at least for me. The only other game that maybe feel like that, maybe you laugh at me, but when I was like 14 and I played, oh my god, what was it? There's the Crooked Man, the Sandman, and Boogeyman. I played Boogeyman, and then there's a puzzle where you listen in to a door and
Turn on the lights.
and that shook me to my core. I still think about that to this day, and I was like 14 when I played it for the first time. And this game is kind of like that. I sometimes think about the CGs. The CGs are amazing. I love the art style. It's really striking, again with the kind of straying away from the anime aesthetic. I really love how this game looks, and I don't know how to explain it, but when it cuts to a CG in a tense moment, it's always effective. I don't know what the developer did. The story is not revolutionary, but I think it's different enough and it's told in an interesting way. I like the puzzles for the most part. It took me 13 hours to complete, but I haven't completed all the endings, so it has a good amount of replay value because of those endings and some secrets you might have missed. By the way, I saw that Manly Badass Hero played this game, and if you're thinking, oh, I saw his gameplay, I don't need to play this. The game was updated multiple times since he played it, to the point where when I played it, I tried to use his videos as a walkthrough because there was no written walkthrough when I played it for the first time. And there were some puzzles that were just completely different. I just had to figure it out myself because his videos were different and also the assets were different. I think that the game looks very different from his videos. So yeah, I really like this game, and it's only
$2.99.
Originally released in 1998 on PC and awarded as the Adventure Game of the Year, the timeless horror point-and-click Sanitarium is returning to frighten the bravest adventure game fans. Okay, so as you've heard, this isn't really an unknown game. Kinda. The game is really old, like it's 2023, and people aren't talking about it. Like, they love to say that certain aesthetics are cool and nostalgic and creepy, like the recent PS2 wave of new games in the style of PS2, but this type of game hasn't made a comeback yet, so no one talked about it. But I really like it, and if you like uncanny things and like liminal spaces, this game many a times feels like a liminal space. Okay, so the story is this. Our main guy wakes up in an asylum with no recollection of who he is, and he has to figure his stuff out. As I've said multiple times throughout this video, it's not about how original the story is, it's about how you tell it. And Sanitarium tells its story flawlessly. It's really beautiful and original in a way that you don't really see anymore. All games follow a certain pattern, and I'm not saying that the side-scroller point-and-click puzzle adventure is bad, but when there's something different, although kinda wonky, it really catches your eye. At first glance, it doesn't have a ton of replayability, but it took me 9 hours to complete, and it is one of those dreamlike games where it feels nice to just exist in. So you might find yourself jumping back into it just to enjoy an afternoon at the carnival or at the abandoned asylum. It's super worth it, and it's only
$5.99.
Embark on an eerie ghost hunting adventure featuring real evidence of paranormal activity to solve the mystery of the lost crown. Be warned, to seek advice from the dead can have bitter consequences. I'm gonna end this video with my favorite game of the bunch, The Lost Crown. By the way, now there's a new Prince of Persia game that is also called The Lost Crown. So yeah, that is really fun when you have to search about the other Lost Crown. It's a point-and-click adventure, and I love this game so much. Just look at it. What I'm gonna do if someone complains about the graphics wasn't approved by the Vatican. It's part of the charm. This game isn't really scary, but you feel like you're in this little town in the middle of nowhere, you know? And it's spooky, like paranormal activity, etc, etc. There's like a jump scare or two, I think, but the atmosphere.
There's someone out there, amongst the reeds. She's gone. I'll catch her later.
And it is an investigation game, so you're bound to be curious about this lost crown and how are you gonna find it? Fun fact, I liked The Lost Crown so much I went on the Wikipedia page to read more about it, and it said that one of the inspirations for the game was the book A Month in the Country, and I decided to read it, and now it's one of my favorite books. So yeah. Also, it's surprisingly long. I have 20 hours registered on Steam and I only played it once. And I have a habit of being impatient with puzzles and looking up a walkthrough after 5 minutes, so it is weirdly long. But it doesn't drag by any means. The game has a lot of locations, and I just love being in the little town of Saxton and experiencing everything it has to offer. And I wish there was more. Like, I spent 20 hours there and I wish there was more to explore. And when it comes to replayability, since the game is so long, you're probably gonna forget a lot. And replaying it might surprise you all over again. It's only
$1.99.
So yeah, hope you like at least one of these games. You might have noticed that I'm a bit of a chicken by my recommendations. They're mostly atmospheric than actually horrifying, only having the occasional jump scare, but I do love all of them and don't regret spending my time and money on them at all. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, blah 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 blah. And I'll make more videos if an anvil doesn't fall on my head. Bye!